loud. Here we go. Yeah. All right. Well, we're recording. All right. Well, welcome everybody. So excited to have you guys on. This is our weekly team huddle, and it is May 13th, 2018. And, I know we say this obviously all the time that we can't believe how fast the months and the year is going, but wow, here we are. And I think just kind of coming off all the excitement that came from GTC and now just really diving into May. And, I think what we're doing right now is we're entering a season that really we will see the results of what we do in this next season in September, October, and November. When we see a lot of the promotions that happen in Arbonne in that part of the year, it's really because of what happens in the May, June, July, and August of the year. And these are the months, you guys, every month I think that there can be distractions and there can be like things that will vie for your time, but we're moving into a season where most people get out of routine because of school, because of kids, because of jobs, things like that. And so this is just a season as we move into it that we're going to be really just kind of championing each other to continue to focus on the right things, on those income producing activities, to just get your one ask a day, your one invite a day, or whatever that is that you set for yourself. So I'm just really excited for where our businesses are at, what you guys are accomplishing, and, what I know is to come. So I do want to say happy Mother's Day to all of the mamas on the call, all of you that are like mamas to lots of kiddos in your life. And, all of us have a mom or mom figures in our life. So it is a great day to celebrate just women, I think, in general. So, I am super, super excited and really so grateful for our guest trainer tonight. And I was thinking today, I was like, oh my gosh, I know this girl, but I don't really know her. And I don't really know her story at all. So I'm really excited to hear her story. I'm excited to hear her nuggets. And I will just tell you all that every week when we have had a guest VP on, I just really leave it up to them to share what's on their heart, to share what they feel like the Lord has kind of given them. And every time it just hits right where either the team needs or, maybe a couple of people specifically need. And so I just have loved that so much. So I am excited to introduce Lyndsey Tinsley. Is that how I say it? Lyndsey Tinsley. Yes. And Lyndsey, and it was so funny, Lyndsey, and I was I did a little post about you this morning before church about, that you were going to be our guest speaker. And I didn't say anything about your mom because I'm like, this girl has her own identity. And I know you love your mom, and your mom is an amazing woman who has spoken life and poured life into lots and lots of people in Arbonne. But I also love that this is a business where you get to be your own person, your own leader, and really develop that yourself. So I am just excited to hand it over to you, Lyndsey, to share. For those of you that maybe missed when we first hopped on, this is Lyndsey's first Mother's Day. She has an 8-week-old little nugget who is in her lap as we speak, and she is doing mom duties and feeding him as we are also doing this call. So I love that this is, just a place that we can do this and really get work. Just work and be with our kiddos all at the same time. So I'm going to toss it over to you, Lyndsey, and let you share tonight.
That sounds good. Can you guys hear me? Because I'm a little bit further away than normal. I just want to
make sure. You're good. Yep, we can hear you. You're great.
Well, hello everyone. And I was thinking about the call today and how excited I was, and honestly, how much I just love your leader. And I don't even know exactly how we met, in the Arbonne world, or just kind of, I think, just falling in love with each other. And I just want you guys to know you have an amazing leader. And what I was thinking as you were talking, Missy, is, as we enter this summer season, championing each other to, stick to the plan and the recipe for success, because you said you would. Like you just said, I ran tonight because I said I would. And just keeping that commitment and that dedication to yourself and to your family and to your business, and honestly to the people that you haven't even met yet. So I felt like right there in the first 2 minutes you gave, enough nuggets to, carry us through to the next week, because we said we would. So I am super excited to get to share with you guys a little bit. And it is so fun always sharing my story. And that's part of my story, is finding my identity for sure in this business as Lyndsey Nelson. And then, as I became Lyndsey Tinsley. But for those of you that don't know my mom, because, Arbonne is ever growing, and my mom has been in here forever. And I always think sometimes people may not know who she is, even though, we think she's amazing and wonderful and a rock star. Some people may not know who she is, but I always like to tell people I was introduced to Arbonne whenever I was 12 years old. And I was 12 and introduced to Arbonne at that time because that's whenever my mom, Carlita Nelson, was introduced to this business. And she has an incredible story herself. And it's so fun now. I mean, I text my mom today. I said, today has been a whirlwind of emotions, just taking it all in as it being my first Mother's Day, and what it is to look to the future and providing for Brooks, and what her and my dad did. And I can't talk about it too much because there's still high emotions, but it's just incredible what she did for my brother and I and our family, and the sacrifices and the dedication that she committed to just create the dreams that she wanted for our family. But a little bit about my story. I was 12 when I was introduced. I've used Arbonne my whole life. I think that's kind of fun to say, that I've really honestly never used anything but Arbonne. And I grew up in the Arbonne world, but I didn't necessarily understand or think that Arbonne could be for me. So even as a teenager, I would introduce, I was like, Mom, you need to talk to this lady, or I talked to this lady, you need to sign her up as a consultant or a PC, or she's wanting these products. I did Arbonne, but whenever I turned 18, of course, I got a consultant ID. It was one of my birthday presents. Congratulations, you're signing up as a consultant. But I didn't want to really do or have anything to do with Arbonne. I didn't understand. I honestly thought it was for moms that were stuck. And I honestly didn't connect. That would be like my first, aha, or my mom's first mistake. It did not connect, and we did not connect this business to my life. So I went off to college, and the way it works in my house is you pay for your school, and then when you make the grades, you get reimbursed. Well, I always did really great in the fall because it was chilly. You had to go be inside. You had to be indoors. But as soon as springtime hit, like right now, is whenever, honestly, my grades would tank. And it's not because I was a partier or because I did not sit at every single class that I was enrolled for, but I loved people. And being in that structured classroom was not what my heart wanted to do. And so I went off to school to be a doctor. Really thought I'm going to go get the degree, be a doctor, had no idea what that entailed, and quickly realized, oh, no. I don't want to go be the doctor. I'll just be the nurse. Because what kid doesn't look up to their mom? My mom was a nurse practitioner for pediatrics. So I had grown up watching her get to love people, make people better, not heal the sick, but to get to take care of people and just love people. And that's my heart. And so as a kid, I thought, you know what? I want to go be in that field. I want to go be the doctor. I want to go be the nurse because I love people and I love loving on people. And that's what will make me happy. And so once I realized I honestly didn't have the grades to be a doctor nor the commitment, I thought I was going to go do nursing. And you guys, it's funny and it's not to be funny, but this is the God's honest truth. I don't like blood and guts. So making it through nursing school would be really tough if a paper cut seriously makes me nauseous. So I seriously at night pray to God and say, why did I start with a boy? Because I know boys break things and cut things, and I'm not sure I'm the mom that's going to be able to handle that. But that was a huge reason why I knew I could never make it in nursing, because I honestly just wanted the people connection. So all that to say, you guys, I didn't finish school. And I don't boast about it, and I don't tell people, don't go get a degree, but I just have an associate's degree. And it's kind of a joke in our house that it took me 6 years to barely get an associate's degree, because I just kept changing it because nothing made me happy. Because backing up a little bit, I got to watch my mom be a nurse growing up as a kid, but then I also spent from about 13 to, 18 watching her live the executive national vice president life, where she worked on purpose. Like, she did not just sit on her bum and eat, ho-hos and ding-dongs all day long. She worked, but she worked around her life. And she worked whenever it was, not necessarily convenient, but flexible. She had a flexible schedule. She had time freedom. I saw that we, as a family had gained financial freedom, and I saw that life. So I went to school thinking I want to be a nurse, but I kind of was accustomed to that freedom and flexibility. And those two honestly don't go hand in hand. And that's whenever I realized, okay, what I'm doing is not going to get me what I want for my future. Now that I can see, what I want my future to look like. So I came back, and I always say I came back with my tail tucked between my legs, and I said, okay, I'm ready to learn how to do Arbonne. I need you to teach me how to build an Arbonne business, because like I said, I had grown up in it, but I hadn't paid any attention because I didn't see it being something for me. And I will tell you guys, at the time, I was 20 whenever I came back and said, okay, I'm ready for you to, show me how to do Arbonne. It was kind of weird to be doing network marketing whenever I was 20. I mean, I remember that was one of the obstacles, is people thought you drank the juice. People thought you had kind of gone a little cuckoo, and especially a young person. It was not a hot thing for the Gen Y, my generation, to be doing some side hustle that they call it, like it is today. So that was something I had to get over, and just realize that if I wasn't going to go to school and get a degree, how was I going to pay my bills? And that's still how I look at my business today. Yes, I get to do my business around my schedule, and I have that freedom and that flexibility, but it still is very much what helps to pay our bills. And so I've always kind of kept that healthy mindset, kind of like you, Missy, and, just doing your run because you said you were going to. I've kept a healthy mindset about my Arbonne business, because it very much, deserves that respect, but it also pays our bills. And it was all I had. I mean, in no disrespect if this, hits home with anyone, but I always tell people, if Arbonne went down the tube, I'm qualified to clean toilets. Like, I have no, accolades that would make me look better than someone on paper. I need Arbonne to work. And that's kind of the healthy fear that I keep with myself. This is my job and my well-being and our family's well-being. So that's a little bit about my story. And I will tell you what really just set my heart on fire, besides the love for people, was whenever I started using our 30 days to healthy living, and I got healthy myself. I'm a taller, woman, a more athletic build, and I've always had to battle my weight. I mean, truly, from little, I've had to battle my weight. And whenever I realized how simple health was, and how convenient and on the go and really just easy Arbonne's healthy living was, I was hooked. And I didn't care if you were young, old, male, or female. I was going to tell you about Arbonne's 30 Days to Healthy Living. So that's where I really jumped in with passion, was the healthy living. I had to learn how to like the RE9. But I will tell you today, I felt like last year, this is what God was telling me, being so grateful that we have our RE9 and that I started using it at 18. Because I will tell you, at 27, people are aging. And I can totally see it in my friends, and my friends can see the drastic difference in my skin versus their skin, and not in a boastful, mean way, but it matters how you take care of your body and what you put on your skin. And I know I'm preaching to the choir because you guys are all consultants, but my first love was healthy living, and then I moved into being just as passionate about RE9. But I will tell you where my first disconnect was, you guys, is the business. The best product we have is our business and our opportunity. And that is where I think naturally and organically people come into this business because they love the products. But what I think we need to help people realize faster as their coaches and as their upline consultant is the love for our best product, which is the opportunity. And I have had to learn and build that confidence and have that confidence in myself, because I used to look at myself as a child and think, who would want to join me? When really today, again, fast forward, it's not weird to be doing a side hustle. It's not weird to be 18, 19, 20, 25, 30, doing something like this, but walking around with confidence that you know exactly what you're going to do, because you have a recipe for success and you have a system that you can follow. So that's just a little bit about my story. What I love now, looking back, so if my mom was to tell you guys her story, she had used Arbonne for 27 years. So I was in the womb whenever she was using Arbonne and at her first Arbonne party, which is kind of funny to say now. But back in her day, whenever she went regional vice president in 4 months, they had barely any products. And so you fast forward to my time, whenever I came into this business, we had pieces of healthy living. And really, whenever I decided to come in, at 20 is whenever I think we really kind of came out with the full healthy living set. Fast forward to today, you guys, we have a mall of products. I don't know what Discover Arbonne you guys use, but I think the Discover Arbonne displays a picture of all the different, not brands, like sections of products that we cover: healthy living, beauty, skincare, baby, hair care, essential oils now. I mean, we have it all. And that's what I love, is that we have no excuse to not just be throwing seeds to the world. And I always tell people and new people, and this is how we do it at your events, your parties, your get-togethers, whatever you want to call them. We bring both ASVPs, and there's 3, but I mean healthy living and RE9, because you never know who your audience is going to be. And I will tell you, learn now. If you don't take both, just bring them both, because the person that you think is interested in healthy living is going to want to do your whole RE9 set, and vice versa. So my first tip is to be a product of the product in all that we offer as soon as you can. We never say, put yourself in a bind to start using Arbonne products, but the faster you can be on a full healthy living and just living healthy from the inside out with our skincare, the faster and the easier it is going to be able to talk to people about what you love with passion. But also, I love that if someone's not interested in one thing, we have the other to offer them. And so there really is nothing that people can say no to. We just have to be confident enough as consultants to keep asking questions. In our team, we call it failing forward, or gaining yards, like a football player. Like, football players get hit and they can either fall backwards, but typically you don't see football players get hit and just fall over. You see them get hit and push back. And not that we're in like a war and a fight with people, but push back. Don't let the first no stop you. Ask people, if they're not interested in their healthy living, would you be willing to hear about our skincare? Because we have so many options for people. So that is something that I love today, is that we're the best company because we offer it all. I mean, it's just that plain and simple. I don't know how to not say it, not sound cocky, but we offer it all. And then, like I said before, what I have had to get better at, I will tell you and just be vulnerable, is selling the vision of hope. And like I said, selling our business first and product second. And I will tell you, that's something over like the last couple years that I have witnessed with my mom. So I got married 3 years ago, this coming September. So moving out of the house, because I lived with my parents until I got married, was so empowering. Whenever I moved out, I got to figure out who Lyndsey was, and I got to land on my feet because I've had amazing training. I have amazing parents. If you grow up in the Arbonne world, you get amazing life training, and it was fun getting to jump out and learn that I can land on both of my feet. But I will tell you, I had to do some tweaks in my business, and I had to tweak a few things. And that first thing I needed to tweak was offering the business first, product second. And that is exactly what my mom still does today. We'll be out running errands here and there. And I will tell you, she asked people about Arbonne, my 2-to-1. Or her 2-to-1 is how it is. I mean, like, it's almost a fun game, and she likes beating me at it. And I'm not even kidding. She is like, how many numbers did you get today? And I'm like, none, you heifer, because you asked for them all before I could. But you guys still is that hot. I mean, she's like hot popcorn kernels, and still asking people to this day, every single person she meets, you should really sit down and take a look at this business. And that's kind of what we do on our team, is we call them take-a-looks. And just simply ask people, would you be willing to take a look at what I do? And there's lots of ways you can say it. At my business, take a look at what I do. No obligation, no pressure, but I would love for you to just hear it out and tell me what you think before you say no. And they have been going really, really well, because at the end of the take a look, or the Missy, it's the Is Arbonne For You sheet that we use from Arbonne. At the end of it, it asks you, where do you see yourself, as a host, as a client, or a consultant? And I will tell you, people are picking one of the three. They're not saying, I'm not interested. So you're either getting a party, you're getting a one-on-one, for more product touch and taste, or you're getting an instant preferred client, or someone saying, you know what, I've kind of been looking for something like this in my life. I think I want to join you and do this as a business. So selling the vision of hope faster into everyone you meet. You guys, step out of yourself and step out of your own way and just start asking. Create the frenzy. And that's what I have kind of been doing in my business, getting back into it after Brooks was born. Of course, I can call on those people and say, hey, I need you to help me, like, be a practice party, but invite 4 or 5 new faces. But I also have just been throwing seeds like crazy, because part of what I was talking to my mom about today is I said, I almost feel a little claustrophobic at how homebound I am, because he's growing, apparently, because he's attached to me at all times. And I asked my mom, I'm like, mothers get things done, obviously. Like, there's people everywhere getting things done, but how do people do anything whenever they're attached to you like this? So I've had to use my phone and just start throwing seeds. And I will tell you, it's fun. It feeds itself. At first, it's a little scary, but whenever you just know that you're leading with your heart, which is what I tell my team, just genuinely offer the ask, then whether they say yes, no, or you're crazy, it just kind of bounces off of you, because I just honestly thought of, is it Kirsten or Lyndsey, for genuine reasons. And don't let the first no stop you if they tell you no. But most people, whenever you genuinely just tell them why you thought of them, they're going to say, yeah, I'd be willing to take a look, or yeah, I'd grab a cup of coffee with you. So just throwing and creating that frenzy. And like Missy said, create the frenzy now, because it will carry you through summer, and your fall will be ginormous. You guys, the fourth quarter in Arbonne is always the biggest quarter. But I will tell you, I almost hate even letting myself think, oh my gosh, it's May. I mean, like, let's just take the month of May alone. There's graduations, there's births, I don't even know what's going on, but there's a ton of things going on. Summer doesn't have to be any different than any other quarter. I will tell you, we just had Beth Lomas talk on our call, I think last week, and she was saying about how many, she went region and nation in the summer months, and she just had a girl go region and a girl go nation, and she was listing off all the people that had done something in the summer months. But it's because they had the right mindset, they didn't quit, and they stayed dedicated to themselves, their business, and their family. So do what your leader is saying and just stay committed. And then lastly, what I would share with you, because this has totally been something that I've been reflecting on myself as I am working to go nation and ready mentally, spiritually, emotionally, ready, and our family needs nation, is have a why. Are you connected to your why? Because you're not going to work this business if you don't have a why. I mean, you may work it for a day or two if it's fun, or because you love people like I did. But as soon as someone tells you no, or pisses you off, or, makes you mad, you're going to really think you don't need this business. If that's the only reason why you're in here. You need something that keeps you in here. So some of my whys are, like I told you guys, I am not qualified to do anything else. I get to make this work, you guys, and I love Arbonne. But you need to have other whys. And I will tell you, when I went region, because I was so young and, didn't have the bills, I didn't have the life, I wasn't stressed out like most people come into this business, my needs were met. And I will tell you, now we have bigger needs. I mean, we have a family, we have bigger dreams, and that will take bigger financial goals and financial freedom and time freedom. Honestly, I mean, my husband still works shift work and it's miserable. I mean, like, he's at work now and it's miserable what he's doing. It would be nice if he could go do something that he wants to do and he loves to do. So we need nation, but I need to find new whys, you guys. And that's what I think everyone needs to be reminded of. Your why, you need to have a why that grounds you into this business, but also you need a why to connect with others. And if you don't believe you have a why, you're not going to tell people your I story, which is ultimately what brings most people into this business, is you making that connection with them and them seeing themselves in this business. And if you can't help people see themselves in this business, get with your upline and tell her you have a vision problem and you need to work on your vision in whatever area it is. But being able to give that vision away, even at the consultant level, is possible. And you can do it. I was thinking about that the other day. I'm like, I wonder how it feels. Like, honestly, I think I was having empathy for consultants because I I guess for whatever reason, I forget the situation. I think I was afraid to ask, and I thought, oh my gosh, how silly is that? And sometimes people think, oh, just because you're a regional vice president or you're a national vice president, you don't ever have that 5 seconds of, oh, should I say something? You do. And I was thinking, gosh, how does it feel if you're an area, a district, or consultant? And I was thinking, that's so silly to think it would feel, any greater than it does at a regional vice president or a national vice president, because we can all have the same confidence. We all are telling the same Arbonne story. Our story aside, we're all telling the same Arbonne story, and we can say with confidence, I can take you to the top because that's where I'm going, because I have a specific plan and system that is taking me straight to the top, because I have amazing leaders showing me how to do it first. So that's the confidence I wanted to give people. And when I'm trying to share my heart with my team is just work on your vision for more. First with yourself, then about this business, so that you can offer it to others with crystal clear vision, passion, enthusiasm, and excitement, because belief has a sound. So that would be some of my biggest takeaways for me personally and what I've just been pondering recently. So that's my heart.
Oh, that's so good. It's so good. That's awesome. Well, if you don't mind to stay on, and if little Brooks dude is all right.
He's passed out. He's happy.
Yeah, because he ate and now he's like, I'm passed.
I'm not even sure we're still connected. Nope.
Yes.
But
that's hilarious. Well, what I would love to do is just open it up if any of the gals on the team that are on have any questions for you, whether it was in regards to something that you mentioned, or girls, if there's something outside of that you wanted to just ask Lyndsey. I think she has a wealth of knowledge with this business, with the culture, just with her own experience. So if you want to unmute and ask anything, I think it's always good to put yourself out there and just ask, really. And if you need to, practice 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then unmute, and then ask.
Okay, I have a question for you, Missy. Okay, who is your upline?
So my upline goes to National Vice President Linda Hefner, and then Linda goes to Deanna Osborne.
Okay.
And Deanna goes to Lisa Voorhees.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm in that. So I got introduced to Arbonne through a lady that I go to church with, and Linda Hefner and I also go to church together. And then Linda's husband is actually our family physician. So I see them a lot.
Yes.
From church and everything. And then Linda got connected to Deanna when Deanna was like an area manager. Yeah. And she came to Louisville and did a presentation.
I always think of you and it's Casey, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're sidelined. So Casey is direct to Deanna.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're not. That you guys are connected, just because you guys are my Kentucky, Tennessee, that region of the world girls.
Kentucky friends, yeah.
Yeah, I love y'all.
All right, girls. Anybody have a question?
I will step. Can you hear me? Okay, this is Fallon.
Yes. Hey, girl. Yes.
Oh, okay. Hey, I hopped on a call a little late, but I just wanted to ask. I wrote down in my notes how you were saying, hey, I think because I'm at the consultant level right now, just close to district manager, but when I kind of lead in with the why story, I feel like I've got that down pretty good, but I've never mentioned that level of confidence that you spoke about, like, hey, I'm, especially with those coffee shop one-on-one appointments, I'm going straight to the top. Anybody that wants to join me, because I know I've got great leaders, and I've never really pitched that out before. Is that something that you did more in your later season as you worked your way up, or is that something early on that you kind of pitched out as a consultant district manager?
So in all honesty, all I can say is God is good, because I got to regional vice president, but you guys, I've done all my growing as a region. So I started saying that in my region days, but it's not because I was a region. It's because my mindset got there, and I grew to that point in going, I can take anybody anywhere. I mean, because I went region when I was, I think, 22. So in my mind, I thought, I really didn't think region was that big of a deal. I mean, yeah, they give you a free white Mercedes, and it was kind of cool driving, my first car for free. But I still looked at myself as a young 22-year-old, and I didn't believe that people would want to follow me until I realized I can take anyone anywhere. I mean, I could, it would be a little scary, but I could take a doctor with me, because guess what? It's the same plan and recipe for a doctor, for a janitor, for a 22-year-old, for, a stay-at-home mom. And it was growing into that mindset of, even though I was a region, not thinking less of myself because of whatever situation, and telling people, I can take you to the top because that's where I'm going, because we have the recipe for success that when you work it, you can go region in X, Y, or Z months,
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Awesome.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Awesome. Thank you.
And your name is adorable.
Oh,
notice
thank you.
my notes section.
Awesome. Thank you.
And I think that, just to kind of expand on that, I think that it is important to share with people. Like what I tell people is, kind of like, I'd love to tell you there was something really special about me, but there wasn't. And there wasn't at 24 when I started. What the beauty of this business is the time leveraging, and that there is a system in place. It's like a franchise that's already been proven to be successful, and they just plug into it, and it helps people start to connect up. Because if they think, I've got to come up with this, I just tell them, like, when they get the consultant account, $79, they get the website, they get a set business plan that has created success, and they just get plugged into it, and they can do as much or as little as they want, but kind of sharing that so that it can start to help them see themselves as part of that success or part of that plan. Not just you're going to be successful, but that they too could be successful.
Right.
And sharing that. Yeah, that's awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Great question. Who else has a question, ladies? Y'all are so cute and quiet.
I always have a question. I'm trying to leave it up in case someone else wants one.
Oh, just go, Lori. They're always good questions.
All right, my name's Lori Huffman. My question is, and I did not know, I will apologize, I did not know you're Carlita Nelson's daughter, and I hold her in super high regard. Probably one of my favorite, over and over, Carlita's talking to me in my ear in the car, and if I can't think of one, I will pull up one of her sessions. So I was like, what?
Oh, how fun.
So that was really cool. I guess it would be very unique for you because you grew up in Arbonne. Aw. So, we always talk about like cracks in belief and things like that. So since you did not see yourself as an Arbonne consultant really until you got to that point of, oh, yes, I can do this. And it's not just the expectation of all the things that I guess we talk about cracks in, whether it's the company or the products. You obviously knew the company worked, the product worked. Did you have to work on any of those beliefs to get yourself, or was it just in yourself that you had to gain confidence? Or, I guess you got to see the industry as this works. We know MLM works and network marketing and everything. So I guess what kind of things did you do to work on yourself to get that belief like, oh yeah, mom did this, I can do this too?
Right. First, it was in myself. So personal development like crazy. I didn't realize, I guess you could say the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. My mom would say she didn't realize that personal development was that important. But you realize, or what we like to say is, Arbonne just magnifies what's needs work in your life already. It's not Arbonne that ever makes you someone that you're not, or brings up these issues. So personal growth and development was huge, and it was totally more so. Excuse me as we snack. This is our uncoordinated side. 1 second. All right. So it was more in myself than anything else. And I will tell you also, my mom did not work my business for me, but I was not a dumb consultant. I realized who I had literally in my back pocket, and I used her. And I tell my new consultants that today, and she tells her team that today, use me more. Like, don't think I'm too busy, or don't be afraid to ask. And I didn't. I mean, people could say, oh my gosh, maybe Carlita worked her business. No, but I brought her everywhere with me until I had gained that confidence in myself and in this business. And today I do tell people I had to learn business. I didn't know. I lived a protected life. I didn't have to know business. I was just a kid going to school. So in learning the opportunity part of it, I will say Go Pro, I swear, is like my Arbonne Bible. That book is what I tell people. Every leader in Arbonne could go away today, and if we had Go Pro, we could work and build a successful, network marketing business. So gaining that confidence in myself that I was worthy and that I could do this and that you didn't have to look like Carlita Nelson, advanced practice pediatric nurse. You could be a college student. And so I had to work through all those. I didn't graduate. I dropped out of school. I'm a child, those kind of things. And then also learn business. And now today, I love being so confident in business and being unafraid to talk to anyone across the table and say, let's chat business. Not because I know every specific number of how we get paid and break down an Arbonne, but I know the principles and that network marketing isn't the only way, but like Eric Boy says, it's just a better way of doing business because of the time and financial flexibility in return that you get for the efforts that you put in.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
That's good.
I love all the multitasking that's happening right now.
Really
Keeping a human alive, sharing words of wisdom. It's awesome. All right. Does anybody else? We have probably time for one more question. Oh, we've got Lyndsey on the phone. All right, well, Lyndsey, I'm going to end this then with a question. So what I would love to hear, if you can remember, is if for you, if there was a shift that happened, because I think anytime we move our business from one level to the next, that there's always a lot of personal growth, like you said. There's always typically a newfound commitment to activity to follow up that vision. But so for you, do you feel like there was ever a shift or an aha or a new kind of why that took you from area to region? Because I feel like that is the gap many times. There's a big gap between like RVP and Nation in that like those numbers just get so massive that it's like it just takes some time. But you can, like your mom went from consultant to region in 4 months. Like for those of you that don't know, Carlita Nelson was the fastest moving. She had promoted the quickest when she did that. Like she set the Arbonne like company record. And, and it's really, she still kind of holds that in some ways. I mean, there's only a few other people that have ever like promoted that quickly, which is insane. But I feel like people can see, okay, I can get to district manager and then, okay, yep, I can get to area manager. But sometimes that gap from, or what's the growth from area manager to region can seem kind of like, wow, a little bit big. So do you feel like for you there was a shift or something that just kind of helped move that? Because there are a lot of gals, not only on this call tonight, but within this team that really, I see my vision for them as RVP for sure this year, and just kind of bridging that gap and helping them see that for themselves.
Yes. So what that aha moment and shift I still apply to every area of my life today, and that is breaking it down smaller. And if that feels overwhelming, break it down even smaller than that. And I say that, and I mean it takes 16 people doing $2,500 to create a region. I can do that. That I can do. I can go find 16 people. I can make a list of 16 people. But thinking of hitting 40,000, whenever you look behind you at your team and it's nobody but you, that's overwhelming. So even still today at looking at Nation, it's breaking it down smaller and smaller, or trying to leave the house, breaking it down smaller and smaller, my to-do list, and realizing that it just takes, honestly, a few people doing a little bit to create massive numbers, and just committing to that time that it may take to go find those 16 people. But how quickly you could go send out ask and have at least 5 people by the end of May wanting to do this business with you, doing at least 2,500, 3,000, hopefully 6,000 this month. and just duplicating that the next month, but then turning around and telling them it's just a few people doing a little bit that can create this big number and goal. And that's how my brain thinks, is I need to break it down as small as possible. Like, keep breaking it down, back up your goal and figure it up to the ASVPs. Like, how many ASVPs a week do I need to sell to hit my number? And that's how my brain thinks. So that is what kept it not overwhelming to me, and just a simple, like, daily task. And I think it was you that just said it, but I know on our team we do 3 ask a day. So if you guys do 1 ask a day, I would say, to create cushion but also momentum through these summer months, bump it up to 3 ask a day. And the days that you have more time, get out 10 to 15 ask a day and make up for it. But if you did 3 ask a day, it's like 96 people a month, and it only takes 16 people doing $2,500 a month to create a region. So that was my shift in realizing that it was not all on me, and that you can break it down small enough to chew on it.
That's awesome. Yes, I love that. And for those of you, she was saying 16, not 60. So in case you heard 60, because at first I heard, I was like, oh yeah, 60, that I'm going to pass out.
Yeah,
but no, it's doable. And even breaking it down, like becoming a district manager, it's 20 ASVPs.
Right.
So you don't have to go sell 20 ASVPs. You can sell 5.
Right.
And you find 4 other people that are going to sell 5. Right. And there's your 6,000. And that, I do love that, because that, it's like eating the elephant one bite at a time. It's just 6,000 seems like a lot. 20 ASVPs seems, well, I could probably figure that out. I could certainly figure that out in 60 days, finding 20 people. And then you think, well, if we're getting them on both, right, because sometimes people will buy both when we offer both. We just typically, what I find is we don't offer both, right, because we think it's too big of a purchase price. So we kind of decide for them, but that's 10 people buying 2 ASVPs. Right. You're a district manager. Right. So that's awesome. Well, wonderful. Thank you so much, Lyndsey. I know that you have your little nuggety of goodness there, and it's Mother's Day, and it's probably time to head to bed for lots of us. So thank you all for getting on tonight. Thanks, Lyndsey, so much. So appreciated.